Hello and welcome. If you've ever played around with an AI tool and had that thought, that little spark that says, wow, this is cool, but what if I could build my own? Well, then you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to talk about that incredible leap from just being a user of AI to actually being a builder of AI. And get this, all without having to write a single line of code. All right, let's jump right in.
So let's be real for a second. Using AI is getting easier every day, right? It's a skill, for sure, learning how to prompt and get what you want, but creating something completely new with it, something tailored perfectly to your business, your idea, your vision, that feels like a whole other level, doesn't it? Well, today, we're going to see if that's actually true.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll talk about what I call the AI Generalist's dilemma. Then we'll look at the big obstacle, the traditional coding wall. But then comes the good part, the no-code AI bridge that changes everything. We'll break down the steps to go from generalist to builder, look at some of the cool stuff you can make, and wrap up with what this all means for the future.
Okay, so first up, let's talk about a role that I bet a lot of you will recognize, the AI Generalist.
So what is an AI generalist? Well, you're probably one if you're really good at using the AI tools out there. You're a power user. But you've got these bigger ideas that the off-the-shelf stuff just can't handle. You want to create your own solutions. Imagine you're a marketing pro. You're a wizard with AI for writing posts, making images, but you have this amazing idea for a custom tool that sifts through customer reviews to spot problems automatically. That's a specific, custom solution, and that's where you hit a wall.
And I love this breakdown because it really shows the shift in thinking. You're going from just being a user to becoming a creator. You're moving from being an operator of a tool to being the architect of a system. And you're leveling up from being a connector of different apps to a true innovator. That's the leap we're talking about today.
So if so many people have these great ideas, what's been holding them back? Well, for a long time, the answer has always been the same, this huge, scary wall.
And this is that wall, the traditional coding wall. For that marketing pro we mentioned, trying to build her idea meant she'd suddenly be looking at tutorials for Python, trying to understand data science, and hearing about machine learning engineering. It's just a lot. In the time it takes, we're talking months, maybe even years, just to get a basic version running. It's a ridiculously steep learning curve.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It hasn't just been a hurdle, it's been a mountain. A giant mountain of code standing between great ideas and reality. And for anyone who isn't a professional developer, that mountain has pretty much made building with AI feel impossible. Until now, that is.
Because, a new path is opening up. One that says, hey, you don't have to climb that mountain. Instead, there's a bridge that lets you walk right over it. So let's talk about the no-code AI bridge.
This right here is the key that unlocks everything. No-code AI. It's pretty much what it sounds like. Platforms that let you build real, powerful AI applications using visual interfaces. Instead of writing lines and lines of code, you're dragging and dropping blocks, connecting them, and designing a workflow. It means you can build that custom solution without needing that PhD in computer science.
And I want to be super clear about this. This is not about getting rid of coders or developers. Not at all. This is about empowerment. It's about giving the experts, the marketers, the artists, the small business owners, the people who actually live with the problems every day, the power to build their own solutions. It's just making the group of people who can create with AI way bigger.
All right, so we've got the problem, we've found our bridge, so how do we actually cross it? Let's get practical and break down the steps to go from being an AI generalist to a full-on AI builder.
The path is actually pretty clear. Step 1 is simple. Identify a problem you want to solve. For our marketing pro, it was, I need to understand customer feedback faster. Step 2, master a no-code tool. Maybe she spends a weekend really digging into one platform. Step 3, build a quick prototype. Nothing fancy, just something that analyzes the last 100 comments on Facebook. And finally, step 4, iterate and launch. She shows it to her team, gets some feedback, makes it better, and rolls it out. See, it's totally doable.
Okay, this all sounds really good in theory, but let's talk about the fun part. What kind of awesome, actually useful things can you make once you have these new skills?
Honestly, the sky is the limit here. You could build a custom chatbot that actually knows your business inside and out. You could automate some boring internal process that everyone hates. You could build that exact AI-powered data tool we've been talking about, or an intelligent personal assistant, a unique app for generating content. Really, the only thing holding you back is your own creativity.
And here's the kicker. This is maybe the most powerful part of all, because you're not getting stuck writing and debugging code. The speed you can move at is just incredible. We're talking about being potentially 10 times faster. You can take an idea, build it, test it, and launch it in a tiny fraction of the time it used to take. That kind of speed is a legitimate superpower.
So what happens when you put all this together? When millions of creative people are suddenly able to build their own AI tools? Well, it fundamentally changes the future of technology.
Think about it. For the very first time, the power to build with AI isn't just for a handful of specialists in some lab or a giant tech company. The tools are being democratized. The power to create, to innovate, and to solve real-world problems with AI is now, literally, in your hands.
So, that really just leaves us with one final and I think most important question. The tools are here. The bridge has been built. You have the ideas, you have the expertise. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?